Alright everybody, welcome back. Best of 5 between TrapDorSpida and Baconpants. Both players now 1 game apiece. This is game 3. Ultrazeme Stronghold Tournament Edition. I believe TE means Tournament Edition. In the top right of the map, in the green, it is our Terran player. Day 9 Letter Clans, Baconpants. And at the top left of the map, it is our orange player. In the Zerg pieces, it is Day J's TrapDorSpida. Trap saying that he always clicks his overlord in the beginning. It's just perched right on top of his hatch. Missed maybe the drone for half a second or so. It won't make a serious difference on this map. It's too large. But interesting factor nonetheless. So both of these players have shown tendencies toward passivity. Even that attack that Baconpants was coming up with, I mean, it did have a command center on the back of it, so it was very much a macro leaning style of play. Pressure into a second base. Didn't necessarily have to kill him with that. Trap as well, been going for the usual hatchery into pool openings. We haven't seen him do anything particularly crazy just yet. And this map in particular, being how it's gigantic, really encourages this. Only proxies are the kind of rushes that you can actually do on this map where they will not be delayed in some way. You could do an incredibly risky 6-spool where you send out 2 drones to locate either corner of the map to try and find the opposing player and then show up with the lings and hope you get there in time. The problem though is that the wall off with Terrans is just going to probably be done before they ever get there. It's just not worth it to try that, so most Zergs will go for a faster expand. Same with the Terran, they have to run across the map for pretty much anything that they do. And even medevac timings are going to be somewhat delayed. So you have to be pretty careful when going for that. Trap does know where his opponent is, though. Is able to scout him fairly quickly. Baconpants, on the other hand, is still in the dark as to the location of his opponent. Hasn't done really any scouting, actually, from what I can tell. So, potential advantage for Trap in that sense, unless Bacon is going for some kind of more aggressive play. It might be what he wants. And no, we have 2 workers racing down to the natural for some reason. One of them going to check around maybe for a... Nope, I think he probably just sent them both down here on accident. Here comes the command center. And you can afford it anytime now. There it is. So we're transitioning again into what looks like a macro game. Did misinterpret what Bacon was doing a little bit last time, but I don't think we're going to see him necessarily go for the push here. And now here comes the scouting SCV. Still hasn't quite realized that we have... I think this was a scouting SCV that he was trying to send out, and it wasn't really able to make it out here. So it's just kind of stuck in the corner. Hopefully he notices that and fixes it. That is actually kind of a problem. If you just leave it there for half the game, then that's a lot of minerals you never mind. In any case, the music is fixed. I guess playing background was the problem. Weird. No idea why that would be the issue, but whatever. Glad I seem to have fixed it. So if you recognize this map at all, what Ultrazeme's tile set is actually based on is the Wings of Liberty Protoss map that you run around, you blink around with Zeratul and you find a bunch of temples. A nice overlord pick by Bacon there. Slightly supply blocking Trap, though he does have a couple overlords just about to finish. Builds pretty much do have that eventuality planned into them, though it's nice when you can keep the overlord alive. SCV unfortunately scouts Trap last. First thing he'd probably actually want to check here is this location to see if there's a third. Hopefully he'll be able to do that on the way out and we'll listen to the Queen. He's going to get up here, sees the shivering spawning pool. Sees that only 1 worker is collecting out of gas right now. So he knows he's not necessarily about to be pressured with extremely fast banelings as long as he can get down to the natural and tell what was down there. So he doesn't know if gas is being collected down here instead in an attempt to hide it. He didn't really check for a third base either, so that scout was a little bit incomplete for Bacon. but it's enough information for him. He's getting his Marines out. A lot of barracks, actually. 4 barracks, no attempt at picking up a factory just yet. No gases, actually, at all. So it looks like maybe Bacon is actually looking to do some kind of push here, as the effectiveness of these Marines is going to be going down substantially, especially as this Baneling nest finishes here. This is going to be quite a difficult thing to pull off, actually. He's going to need to get a little bit lucky here, or at least have incredibly good micro. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 barracks. I'm a little surprised at this. I mean, this is an interesting choice from our Terran player. I wonder if he got this idea from something specifically. On this map too, this is, I don't know if I like it. Still no tech labs on anything, so he's not grabbing combat shield or stim. These are purely normal Marines. These are average Joe Marines. Spread out here. Be anticipated a push coming. 3 Marines actually slip around the side of this ball of lings right here, going to run up to the middle of this base. Looks like he's just checking around, maybe for the army, so he might have just been not paying attention to the mini-map when he was doing that. They're going to run around the side now, actually under this Overlord, completely give their position away. Let's see if Trap's actually watching the mini-map. He's actually staying inside his vision. He was staying inside his vision for quite a while there, but he's left it now. And he's checking to see if a third is coming up. Lots of Marines moving out, going to find a huge number of Banelings. Not really splitting so great against that. There we go, finally pushing his army back and trying to do that. Wheeling around the side here. There's so many Banelings in this group, though. Ooh, wow, look at that. So he's managed to split well enough against this that Bacon hasn't taken too much in the way of serious damage, but there just isn't more to work with here. And since he's already been on a 2-base economy for a while, there's a lot of roaches coming out. Completely unupgraded Marines with no stim against roaches. I don't know if I like that. The odds there. If he has enough in the way of DPS, he might be completely fine. Unfortunately, he didn't rally a chunk of his Marines across the map, so he's not going to be as powerful as he would like to be. Starting to pressure this third. Out come the roaches to respond. And that's a lot of roaches. It's a lot of roaches. The lair is up. Roach speed. Nope. It's going into Spire Tech, actually. And the roaches out here, probably because they're fighting the Marines in such small groups, are actually going to be able to just take this out no problem. And now there's a big train of soon-to-be dead Marines going across the map, unless Bacon catches that and pulls them back home, which it looks like he is. Good, good, good. So, third command sergeant trying to go up. Still no tech. This is Marine only from Bacon here. He's just going all in on Marines, in fact. And I don't know if he's even going to have enough to really hold this off. This is a lot of DPS in this army that he's got with these Marines, but same actually kind of goes for this. Especially if he misses the roaches entirely. Now, he might have a nice positioning angle here if he can get a nice flank with these units coming down the ramp. Starting to lose stuff one by one, though. Marines engaging from the other side. And yeah, he's actually caught Trap in a little bit of a move position there, so he's going to be able to clean up this army. He's going to take significantly more losses than he probably would otherwise, though, with better upgrades. And now we have centrifugal hooks starting, as well as 32 Zerglings. So Trap's just looking at this and going, you know what, I bet if I just roll over with a bunch of Banelings, I'll kill everything. And that's basically what he's going to rely on here. Another move out from Baconpants here is going to try and move over. Hopefully, yep, Banelings have already been started. So Trap should have what he needs in time for this to come over. It's just going to come down to Bacon's micro again. Oxygen satted, the loss of the orange roaches. Chat. More roaches coming out to assist the Banelings here. Moving down the ramp. A few more spawning at this location. Nice positioning here, keeping them behind this wall so you can't just pick up on their location really easily by being right next to it. They'll be able to... he can actually swing around with the Banelings in this direction and just catch them from the rear. But it looks like he's just going to go heading straight into it. He's attempting, not really being able to split at all against this, taking incredible losses against these Banelings, only splitting at the last moment. But it's not going to mean very much, as the rest of the army is able to pick up everything from there and just kill it off. Looks like Baconpants is rallying a little bit further back just to try and rebuild this army count here. That was an extremely efficient engagement for Trap, though. And he's just going to continue to produce units and build up that economy. 1-1 being researched for both players here, going for the more melee variety from our Zerg players, probably looking to go up into Ultras eventually. Did grab a Spire as well, so maybe wanted to pick that up. I don't know if it's the best choice actually against this, against pure Marine. They can't really engage the army ever, but it would be very good harassment against the outer edges of the base. Marine force moving forward here. Looks like he wants to attempt another engagement. It's 8 Mutalisks coming out. Hasn't been making any more Marines, and this may be the moment that Baconpants has been waiting for, is if he can get... if he's able to get this... get a moment with Trap where he's just not continuing to build units, then he may be able to make a lot of work here. A few Marines actually moving up in the main base now, trying to form a distraction here. The rest of the force is going to go down into the third, try and get something done. Bailing's cleaned that up so fast, though, that they should be able to pull around and engage right away. A lot of Mutalisks now joining the army here. 1-1 still not done, still no stim. Needs to respond with this. He's going to attack with the Mutalisks directly and start losing them in mass, most likely, just because DPS on Marines is real good. Bacon's come in, clean up the rest of that. There is another ball of Marines forming back here, and Bacon may just actually be doing enough to chip away at his opponent like this, especially now that he's pouring money into units that he can't really defend against these Marines with. He really should be sticking with the Ling Roach, but yeah, I don't know if I like this transition so much, especially if he's not going to bring it over to Bacon's base and make him go home with it, because that's what he really needs him to do. He's got time on his side here. He's got that economy edge. He's getting that 4th base up. What is going wrong for Trap in this game? He does have a lot of energy on his queens, especially this one. Injects have not been so great down here. Army is going to push in for another attempt. There's basically no Banelings with this one. I actually anticipate the Marines probably winning this fight. As here comes the attack. 1-1 is actually done for both sides now. Baneling comes in, blows up, only one of them. Mutalisks starting to engage directly against Marines. Never a very pretty sight. There is a attempted transfer of a drone right there. I'm not sure if Bacon actually picked up on what was going on there. And the Marine army is just getting stronger and stronger and stronger with those upgrades, and he may actually push this over right now. He's starting to kill Zerglings just as they're spawning, and yeah, still being rallied down directly into the army, fighting it piecemeal, only doing a little bit of damage at a time. And I think Bacon's finally done it. He's done the continual unupgraded Marine pressure long enough here that he's actually pushed his opponent into an awkward position now. Did a lot of damage against this hatchery just then, but not, didn't quite take it out. Losing a lot of his Marines in the process, but hey, here comes another Marine ball attacking the 4th base. So drones are pulled. He does defend the 3rd, but unfortunately now the 4th is under pressure. He's going to kill the Queen down here in the hatchery as well. The army's too far out of position to really be able to respond to that. Drones need to be sent back to work. 20 more Lings coming out. Roach is now joining up with the army, and maybe we'll see him go back into Roach Baneling here. It's not out of it just yet for Trap. He has taken some pretty serious damage, but he still has his 3rd, he still has his production, and he still has a lot of gas behind him. So even though he doesn't have the Mutalisks anymore, he's getting +2 on ground, and he can get some more Banelings from here, which should still do a lot to this. So Baconpants is being incredibly cocky and risky right now by not actually picking up any upgrades for these Marines at all, not even stim, meaning that they can't really efficiently kite so great. And here comes the Banelings attempting to produce those. See if he can buy enough time to make that happen. There's another ball of Marines that attempted to engage from the back here. He'd actually lose all of these Banelings if he's not careful. He's putting down a bunch of Spine Crawlers. Army's trying to decide whether to cancel the Banelings or the Spine Crawlers. If the Spine Crawlers get up, that will help out a lot against this army too. Banelings finish, do a decent amount of damage against the Marine army. And okay. He's able to split okay against that, but there isn't really much more beef behind this army. And the Roaches are doing a decent amount of damage to it. 20 Roaches in production, more of them coming out. More Marines join the fray. They're able to beat down the Roaches at the front, and now they're going to push back into the base here. 4 Spine Crawlers now present, though, along with the Roach count. It's going to slow down this attack quite a bit. Bacon can still actually just jump straight into the main base if he wants. Back home, Roach is starting to move forward to engage, thinking about it, not doing it, though. Still no Roach speed on these Roaches, actually, which is a little bit of an interesting problem for our Zerg player for the moment here. And yeah, the Roaches do, I think, finally manage there be enough Roaches to actually deal with this army. And Trap should not push out, though. He wants to engage on the creep and nowhere else right now until he gets that speed upgrade. And there it is, finally. Glial Reconstitution, a.k.a. Roach Speed, being researched in the main base. Also, it's got a few idle workers hanging out up here. Kind of needs to go try and take a fourth again. Looks like Bacon is actually spreading his Marines out here, trying to see if he can do something about that. Has he picked up any gases yet? Just a little bit here and there. Does have a factory now, picking up an armory as well. But still no upgrades for Marines. Still no combat shield. Still no stim. They're incredibly, incredibly vulnerable right now. Entire army is moving to respond to a single Marine, thus putting it completely out of position. Does protect this fourth base. This is a little bit of a strange place to engage with, I think. I mean, he's actually sending the message to his opponent that if he gets dropped right now, he's basically just saying, here, make it easier. He's also building a huge number of Banelings right in Bacon's face and not engaging with all of his roaches. There you go, buddy. Now he's starting that fight a little bit, actually, before Roach Speed is done here. So this might be just what Bacon needs, but here comes the Banelings. They're going to try and engage around the back of it. They're going to join the fight, and they tip it in the Zerg's favor decisively. Pushing the army supply of the Terran player now down to 59. Holy crap, he's building a lot of stuff at once. 20 Marines coming out at a time. Not all of which are actually rallied to the front. Some of which rallied to the main base. A few hanging out in the natural. Trying to protect against the possibility of a Mutalisk attack. Fourth here, fifth here. Random ninja base that's probably going to get cancelled. And Baconpants' Marine-only army is now regrouping in the middle of the map. Out comes a giant force, gigantic force of roaches and Banelings on a move command, unfortunately, taking a few losses there needlessly. And he's trying to hunt for that main ball of Marines, which for some reason has decided, oh, he's getting a ninja base, so time to go deal with that. But unfortunately, here comes the main force of the attack, just running straight into this Marine ball right here. And he looks like he's actually interested in maybe just going for a straight attack on the base here. Baconpants is trying to figure out what he wants to do with this army right here. Unfortunately, a bunch of Lings are going to run past and see, oh, that's where your Marines are. And he's losing some of his production now. Not a lot just yet. Trap has to be careful not to accidentally use any of that against the buildings. He doesn't want to lose it there. Some splitting going on by Baconpants right here. Unfortunately, not very efficient splitting. Still going to be good Baneling hits for Trap. Unfortunately, Trap has been super zoned in this fight right now. He is not producing anything on the back of this. No, looks like he's not really doing any injects or anything either. Actually, is he? No, they haven't finished quite yet. So he's still on top of it, but he needs to jump back to base now. And he is. Okay, so he's staying on top of his micro. Good job. Spreading those workers out to the new bases that he's taking, and I think, again, I hate to say it, but I feel like Bacon would have had this game if he grabbed Stim. That may actually be the only thing he would have needed. There was so much DPS and ability to kite that he just never had. I mean, he had the splits he needed against the Banelings, sometimes, except toward the end there. But here we go. And this is what happens when you go Mass Marine. I have a feeling that Bacon is actually just... I think he was just trying to have some fun here. Unfortunately, that does allow his Zerg opponent to take this game. Trap wins Game 3.